Hello, Hamza. So, what I know, like every other citizen, your group also expecting the result at some point. So, where is Cole's mindset at the moment?
Thank you, Chamberlain. Good evening, Nigerians. We're quite worried on this recent trend. We've deployed over 20,000 observers in the 704 local government. Collation center in the 700 of local government. Some of these collation centers, their address were changed without prior notice. And in some cases, when we even get information on where they're collating these results, they've denied some of my people on the ground access. In some of the states, even as I speak to you now, there's a local government in Imo State where elections are not holding. You know, the chairman of INEC yesterday said, oh, election will continue today. But that's just one example in Imo State. Also, we've seen cases where election did not happen, results have been announced. So then again, we wonder, because these trends are worrisome. Now, only 40,000 results have been published on the INEC result platform. But INEC created 50,000 new voting centers. And we know that as at 2:30 yesterday, most of these 50,000 have concluded their elections. And we don't know why is the results not uploaded. In the case of Ekiti and Oshu, before midnight, the results were already uploaded. As much as we are not concerned about the results as connected development, our own focus is the process and what would hamper on the integrity. And this process is really critical, particularly the result process. And for us as accredited observers, you know, by law, when you look at the electoral guideline and the 2022 electoral law, we're empowered to have access to where these processes are happening. So these trends, you know, are now causing a lot of apprehension and worries. And if you've been following the communications on social media, you know, there's been some level of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. And when you don't provide timely information and responsiveness, particularly from INEC, what you're doing is you're empowering mischief makers, you're empowering corrupt people to just propagate, you know, fake news on various platforms. So again, the time where we are right now is critical, and INEC must respond adequately in building back public trust and public confidence in this entire value chain.
Yeah. Well, I am just wondering, you know, how this is, I mean, you have talked about how polling did not happen in a particular local government area. You mentioned the state, Imo State, you said, and the result, I don't know whether you said results are being declared, but you said about some places where polling did not take place, but results are being declared in those places. But when you say results are being declared, where are these results being declared first? It's important to note that, excuse me, one. And then for the places, well, let's take that first so that we don't muddle up the questions.
No, go ahead. I can take more questions. No.
Yeah, but let's take the first one. You know, who are the people, where do you say the results of the polling units where, you know, elections did not take place? Where are these results being declared?
Oru East, Imo State. And we have it on good authority that some party chieftain, you know, some elections happen in the house of some party chieftain where people did not go and vote, but today they have already declared results in these places.
And the people who have declared the results, is it INEC officials or who precisely has done that?
Oh, INEC officials, my sister. And just to also state that the place also where we have verified information that election is not currently holding is in Imo State, and you know, this is the Primary Healthcare Development Agency, New Owerri 1, polling unit 018. As I speak to you now, elections have not held in that place. There, no INEC ad hoc staff, no materials at all.
Okay, so I would like to know from the, you talked about deploying so many observers to look at what has happened at polling units. I imagine, I don't know if those observers stay till the end of voting in the polling units where they observed. Do you know if they noticed that, perhaps presiding officers had any, situation or any difficulty in uploading results from those polling units to the INEC portal?
Mark, yes, they stayed, and they even stayed till midnight yesterday. There was even a center where we stayed till up to 1:30 a.m. In some cases, Mark, interestingly, when they're having issues to upload to the INEC server, citizens are providing access to internet. In some places where they don't have electricity or where there is darkness, people are providing alternative to electricity and even providing personal security, which again begs some very important answer. INEC got over 300 billion for this 2023 general elections, apart from her recurrent expenditure. So how have they utilized this resource? Because if you look at all of this, it's coming down to logistical nightmare. So what did they use these resources to do? To deploy both manpower that is needed.
Well, I don't know if you heard, because I was struggling to hear the closing part of that particular response. Are you saying that from what the observers saw at the end of voting in polling units, that the results were uploaded to the INEC portal?
Yes, in most of the places we observed, the polling units, we stayed, like I said, we stayed in even some cases up to 1:30 a.m. And in some cases where the network was down, citizens, electorates provided alternative access to internet so they can upload. Even in some cases, there were no electricity. Citizens again provided access to alternative electricity, even in some cases security, to guarantee free, fair, credible elections. See, Mark, there are some polling units that by 6 p.m., people were still on the queue, and the returning officer stopped the voting, citing darkness. And we remember when we engaged the chairman of INEC, and he promised that even when elections are ongoing and after 2:30, no one will be disenfranchised. But we observe and witness where people were being disenfranchised with the excuse that it was already pitfall. This is unacceptable. And these are critical issues that we expect that the chairman of INEC address in this very critical moment.